We also have Dilip Bhat joining into the conversation this afternoon. Dilip, what do you make of this big move that we saw in the morning? It seemed that Nifty is going to kiss the all-time high once again. But how do you read the broader market reaction as we speak?
Surely, I think the liquidity is playing a very prominent role in what we are seeing in an unabated rise in the indices that we are seeing across. I think they are providing a very solid tailwinds to the markets, particularly the domestic liquidity. Of course, there are some discordant notes like the FIs have been net sellers for the past couple of days. But I think that notwithstanding, a market still seems to be really enjoying the kind of the liquidity that we are seeing. Now, here's where the real problem comes, that we are all in a catch-22 situation. We all know that immediately the markets are certainly very overvalued. It's in a very expensive territories at the moment. And these kind of rises don't justify the intrinsic, the earnings that the corporates have been showing. So it's still a question of a hope, and we are all convinced that maybe in the longer run, that over the next 12 to 15 months, the earnings will start catching up, and we are and we all know that going into the next 2 quarters, we have a GST which is going to play a kind of a spoil sport. So it will be third and the fourth quarter which actually will give us some kind of visibility about the run rate, about the corporate earnings growth and the volume growth. So I think that being the case, I think we should all be we are all very apprehensive. At the same time, we feel that maybe it's not there is no need to really go out and buy in a hurry. But surely if you're talking about 18 months and 24 months, then it's a different ballgame altogether. Then it's always a time to invest anytime.
Okay, Dilip, good afternoon. Do you have thoughts on GAIL or any other oil and gas stock?
Well, I think Tulsian has put it very nicely that GAIL has already taken it on the chin, and for all the reasons which was really spelled out just 2 minutes back. But I think all said and done, the worst is behind us. There is no doubt about it. Now, whether we can see the same potential on the upside, that remains a question mark. So yes, on the risk return basis, I think the downside is now very limited. But maybe, it will take some time, but it can provide a good defense to the portfolio in the current circumstances, say around 350 or below. So I would really think that GAIL from the current level is not such a bad bet, considering that all other stocks are really trading at such a high valuations.
It's come off quite a bit, as that chart tells us.
Yeah. Before we move on to the newsmaker segment, let's take some thoughts from Dilip before we thank him. So Dilip, any themes that you're backing in the mid-cap market right now? Any 2 or 3 stock ideas?
Well, I think more than the themes, we are trying to be a little more stock specific. So I think Nifty at almost 96, 97, I think it will be very difficult to take a sector call, rather than I think the stock picking itself will really help. So I think what we are trying to see is just a mixed bag of some of the stocks, whether it's mid-cap or in the front. Something like a Manappuram Finance also looks pretty good and interesting from the current levels for us. I think Manpasand is something which we have just come out with our report. And I think that stock looks pretty good and interesting in this particular space. And I think it looks pretty good that from here on also we think that it can give about 35 to 40% depreciation over the next 12 to 15 months. So I think that's just some of the stocks that we have been talking about.
Okay. All right, Dilip. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today and giving us some of those ideas. Time now for